WrestleMania 41 was this past weekend, and we'll go match order, and we'll take a break after main event night 1, and then we'll go to night 2.
Gonna
So
get the card up then, I guess.
yeah, I got the card, everything ready to go. So you're good. Everything's in match order. So we start off, Jack, with the World
Yeet.
Heavyweight. There it is.
The World Heavy Yeet Champion, I guess we can say now.
Sure, the World
That's what his shirt says.
The
So
World Heavy. That's a great shirt.
it is a fantastic shirt.
Dad puns for days. The World Heavyweight Championship was on the line to start off the whole card, with Jey Uso beating Gunther via tap out to win the World Heavyweight Championship. And this is, by the way, the second time Gunther has been tapped out in his career.
First time was to Ilya Dragunov.
Good man. You're learning this shit. I'm proud of you. More and more, I'm growing more proud of you. As at first, I was like, this match was a downer. But then the more and more I'm look into it, I'm like, okay. From, expectations wise, I expected it to be a bloodbath. It wasn't, but that's
I did
okay.
too.
I did too.
I will say, I think it did very good for its spot on the card. Like, it's a WrestleMania opener. You don't want it to go too crazy. You want to get the crowd in a feel-good mood right off the bat, and I think Jey winning did that by itself. I know that the topic of whether or not Gunther tapped out is a bit... It's up and down amongst some people. I actually think it's a good add to the storyline, though. And like you saw, the fallout on the Raw after Mania, Gunther absolutely crashed out. He took his anger out on Michael Cole and Pat McAfee. So,
which was awesome.
They're not gonna necessarily have Gunther forget that storyline. I don't know if he's gonna try and challenge back for the world title again just yet, but I will say, I don't want to say it doesn't damage Gunther. Because obviously a tap-out loss is brutal. But I don't think he's going to be, buried or anything like that.
No, he's too valuable. He's too valuable.
Yeah. And what is he, 51-4 in singles competition?
He has an unreal singles record.
It's insane. His
career. He's only, lost maybe 4 or 5 times.
And I think people have to remember, too, the story... It's not necessarily a Jey versus Gunther feud. I've sort of taken a step back and looked at it as it's more of just the story of Jey by himself and his ascension through the ranks.
It's the underdog story. It's
he starts off decades. Because it's like a total underdog story thing. Because I'm gonna throw this all the way back to when he left the Bloodline and he was by himself, and he was. Trying to figure it out in singles competition for a little while. He won a tag team title with Cody for a little bit, but then he had the feud with his brother Jimmy, so there was that for a little bit, and then
we don't talk about that one.
We don't talk about the match, but the story was a good story, and I'm focusing on story here. So you look, it was a good story, and then it focuses to he's going to go for the Intercontinental title. Does that his first singles championship? It's not a very long reign. No. Because the new bloodline interferes. And then he decides, okay, I'm going to team up with the bloodline again. I'm going to reunite with my brother. I'm going to solve, my relationship with Roman and everything like that. But only if it's the new twist is only if he starts treating us like cousins and not as, he's my tribal chief. It's
correct. Family.
And it's a good evolution of the story because Roman was willing to do that. Granted, he didn't apologize yet, and that's going to be talked about probably soon. But he did start treating Jey more like family in that case, and helped them win that match, and then won the Royal Rumble. Oh no, before that, he fought Gunther for the world title at Saturday Night's main event. Put up a good fight, lost, and then said, "I'm going to go for the Royal Rumble." Won the Royal Rumble, upset of the year. One of the biggest Royal Rumble upsets literally ever.
Yeah.
And then beats Gunther for the world title in a feud where, maybe it could have been a little bit more I guess of a heartfelt match because you had the whole angle going with Jey or with Jimmy getting choked out by Gunther. So
I was expecting Jimmy. I would have been completely fine with I would have been better with the match had Jimmy gotten involved. in some way, shape, or form in that match.
I think that's
I would have
true,
loved it more.
but at the same time, I don't think it hurt the match necessarily that he wasn't there. Like, it was still a solid match.
No, it was
And I thought Jey did well. I thought Jey did really well. And like the twist of like using Gunther's own moves against him, including the sleeper at the end, was a nice little twist.
Yeah, it was cool.
If I would have changed anything, I think I would have had it to the point where Jey. It took a little bit longer before Gunther tapped, or before he like passed out or something like that. But at the same time, one of the people who I was watching with was saying like it kind of also works that Gunther tapped out quick, because like now that just adds to the story. And you saw it on the Raw after Mania. Gunther was totally crashing out of the fact that he tapped out to his own moves. So,
which good on Gunther, because he is a student of the game.
He is.
And
Gunther is a fantastic heel.
He's also.
I did not want him to retain. I'm all aboard the Yeet train, but I will say I think that Gunther as a heel is fantastic. As for Jey and his world title reign, I don't know how long it should be, other than it's got to be longer than his Intercontinental title reign. It can't be like a 2-week thing and then he drops the belt.
I have a prediction of who his first feud could be.
Is it Braun Breaker?
No, it's Drew.
Not bad. I can see that. I can see that.
McIntyre would be the obvious first choice. Because they do have history together.
They do.
But I mean, we'll see where it goes. I mean, what have we learned? That the history of professional wrestling is like, hey, trust the process, trust the booking, blah, blah, blah. But no matter how much you hate it, Jack.
We'll get to that.
We'll get to that. We'll get to
that
later.
All I'm saying is that like his first title reign, or his first world title reign, it's got to be longer than the Intercontinental title reign. Cannot be drop the belt after 3 weeks. Like, you got to let him cook for a little while.
Agreed.